actually.
Hello. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and welcome to another episode of the NFL podcast. Hope you guys are doing well. Welcome without Josh. Nice and peace. He'll probably watch this. I hope he watches this just to see that. But yes, so it's just me and Ellie today. We've got no NFL, but we have news. So we are going to be reviewing the latest news, and we know that majority of things that are being said are bullshit, but we're going to be discussing it because there's nothing else to discuss, and we're going to be talking about just what we think about the situation. So we've got a few bits and pieces that we're going to be discussing. JJ Watt, a little bit about the Houston, Russell Wilson, Jason Saunders, and Tyler Heineken. I'm calling Heineken from now on. And then we will finish off. Exactly, it's a lot easier for me to remember. Just so much easier for me to remember. So we're going to go through that and go do all of them. But don't forget, just before we get into it, down below in the description is a link to all of our social medias and Ellie's as well. So go and click, give it a follow, and go and subscribe as well to the YouTube channel. And click the bell where you get instant notification for when we go live. And if you're listening to this on Soundcloud, Spotify, and Apple Podcasts, don't forget to follow, and you will get a little notification for one of our videos or one of our podcasts go out to you guys. So thank you guys ever so much for all of the views that you've been giving us. We've been on and off very recently due to mental health struggles that most of us are going through. So I had to take some time away. And we're just on and off for the time being. If there's no news at all, like F1, like nothing, literally nothing, then we will not be doing anything. But we will be back doing our normal schedule very soon. But until then, we will just be doing bits here and there. But go and follow us on our Twitter pages and follow us on Instagram, where we will be talking to you guys daily. Did you just hit your head?
No,
Oh, we've gone down.
I moved my table thing, and that was so loud. It was so loud. For those of you who don't know, I'm currently in my good friend's laundry room. It's 5 a.m, and I'm in her laundry room, and she has 5 siblings. I can't wake any of them up. Yeah, they range from 4 to 16.
Wow, parents don't know the word no.
Yeah, so it makes so much noise.
I was going to go somewhere else with that, but I refuse. Anyway, this could go in a whole different way. So we're going to get into it now. So don't forget to do all of that. All follow, like, subscribe, everything like that. Don't forget, we've got a new Discord. On the Discord, we've got an NFL section on there where we could talk about free agency, talk about draft coming up. Draft, we might do something special for the draft, as it's a very important day. So we might do something special for that. We'll see. We'll see what we do. So yeah, right. Big news since the last time we were on here. JJ Watt has been released by request by the Houston Texans. My God, the Houston Texans are in for a downfall now. What was your first reaction of thought when you saw JJ Watt has been released?
When I saw he was released, I don't know. It's usually all this talk of bickering and arguing, and the guy's obviously annoying or sucky, but I didn't think they'd actually follow through with it. I could never see JJ Watt actually leaving Houston, but now he's just gone.
I don't. It's one of those situations where he had a year left, and I think he was. If they cut him, they saved. I think it was $20 million dollars in cap. I think from him. So there was a massive. It looks like they're going for a mass rebuild. It looks like they're going for a mass rebuild at Houston. But the one thing I don't understand is if you look throughout the season, JJ Watt has been very close to Deshaun Watson. So, and then there's that video at the end of the season where JJ Watt's walking off the field with Watson saying, "I'm very sorry that we ruined one of your years in the NFL." If you're going to piss a player off that's already pissed off, you're just going to keep pissing him. They cut the kit man that's very close to Deshaun Watson as well. You've got people around Watson that is very close to him that you're just getting rid of. If you're trying to easily piss someone off, they're doing it right.
I know, it's just like they're kind of like asking him to leave, asking both of them to leave by cutting everybody that Watson knows. Wait, yeah, by cutting everybody that Watson knows. I mean, it's just like asking both of them to leave. Like, okay, all your friends are gone. Bye. Like, take the hint.
It's just amazes me how. So with Houston, it looks like it's looking very, very likely that Deshaun Watson's going to leave. Because if I was him and you've got everyone around you that you thought that maybe you could maybe challenge for the playoffs if you got some of the right players in, the draft is not going to help you because you gave everything to Miami for one player. And it looks like free agency could have been the way of doing it, but they seem to be not doing that. They seem to be getting rid of the old dogs and maybe bringing in young, hungry players. If you're Deshaun Watson, what do you do?
Oh, I think you leave.
Where would you go?
I don't know. Oh, I mean, I'm sure the Bears would take him. No, because I mean, if you wanted to, like, I guess if he was planning on staying in the NFL long enough, like, for this rebuild, and if he had the patience to, like, stick with this type of, like, management, etc., then I guess, yes, I would say stay, and then they could build the team around him, kind of like Miami are doing around Tua. But I don't know. Deshaun Watson's not that young, right?
No, he's been in the NFL now, I think 3-4 years now. I think it was his 4th year. It amazes me that I think the one mass talking point about Houston at the moment is Jack Easterby, and how much influence he's starting to get. Will there be a point where the NFL steps in, or do you think they'll just sit back, watch, and see how this all plays out?
I think they'll only step in if he like says something bad about the NFL, because the NFL really only cares about their image.
Mm-hmm.
Or that's what I would assume. And so, if I know he's got all this like weird power, but if he like somehow uses it like to like, say something bad about the NFL, I think that's when they'll step in. But otherwise, I don't see them doing anything.
I watched one of his when I say watched, I was watching the Pat McAfee show, which I watch every day just to get a bit more understanding of what's going on. And they showed a clip of one of his sermons that he does. And I'll tell you what, it's one of the most entertaining things I've ever experienced in my life. He talks about at one point when he was like with Moses, when he split the Red Sea, and everyone was walking along, goes, "Hey, Mr. Bluefish, how you doing? And Mr. Redfish, how are you?" He's doing like a comedy skit, and I watched it and went, "What the fuck am I watching?" I think was my very first take was, "What?" Oh Jesus! Right, moving on from okay. The question for you. What is Houston's record going to be if you had to put a prediction now at the end of next season? How are they going to do?
I think they're going to finish last in their group. They're going to be like 5 and whatever. They're going to win like 5 stupid games, and they're going to be like stupid lucky wins, and then they're going to lose the rest. Right? That makes sense?
Makes sense. Makes sense. Yeah, makes sense. So. Let's go on to another quarterback who it seems to be is going to be a summer or an off season of unhappy quarterbacks and trades galore. Another one, Russell Wilson. We discussed a little bit of it last week, but we were more concentrating on the Super Bowl, where he said he has had enough of being sacked. The team 3, team 12, what were they? Wilson 3. Think they're his team are called. Have said that they have had enough of how many sacks he gets. The team have said that they've had enough of the way that the O-line is treating Wilson. Wilson has come out in an interview and said that he's had enough as well. He needs a better O-line to try and maybe do better. I think the stats don't lie, where he's been sacked 100 times more than the next person on the list.
Oh my gosh.
What do you think about Russell Wilson? Do you see him leaving Seattle? If you do see him leaving Seattle, I think it's going to be a massive trade that people are going to have to do for him. But who would he go to?
I don't want him to leave Seattle because I don't know. Pete Carroll and him have been together since like I want to say like 2014 or something. Not that long, really. It's been a long time. And just to leave. I mean, if the Seahawks really cared about him, they would fix the issue. And if I was him, I would just like kind of wait to see how this offseason goes, but like the first half, if they like actually try to fix this and like work on it, and, like
you would see how the draft goes and see how that went, if they actually going to bring people in to help him. The other side of this statement that I've seen people say is he's looking for a new contract. This is the other side of what I've seen people talk about. We're not saying that either side is true. We're not saying that Russell's doing this for a new contract. He may actually do want to leave. But if you flip it and look at it, really look at it, he's getting paid less than Tom Brady, Aaron Rodgers, Patrick Mahomes. He's been in the NFL a very long time, and I think he now is going, and we may not be getting a ring, but I need my money before I leave. He earns. Everyone wants more money. Everyone. If you don't want more money, then but he gives all of his money to charity, doesn't he?
Yeah, but doesn't his wife also make like millions?
Yeah.
Sierra, she's a singer.
Hold on, are you talking about Sierra as in, right, I've heard her name and I've never really known who she is. Is she that singer that did that one song that is like massive?
1 2 Step or whatever.
Yeah, is that his wife? My God, that was like my song of my childhood. That was when I was at school. We used to listen to 1 2 Step, 1 2 Step. Is that really? Oh, I'm good. Do you know what? Now I'm fascinated. I'm going to Google. So yeah, learn something new every day. She only made like 2 songs, didn't she? Wasn't it like 2 songs that were good?
Yeah, but they both like blew up the charts. Like,
yeah,
I
they
still
did.
Listen to her songs today.
To be fair, I think she's probably living on those royalties quite well. If I was her, let's be honest. Jesus, I never thought that was her. We're gonna have to do a karaoke night on here one day. So what do you think? Do you think Russell Wilson wants to leave Seattle and go somewhere else, or do you think he's doing this just for money?
I think it could be both. I think he could probably be like, oh, if I get more money out of this like outrage or whatever, then I get more money and I stay. Or if I don't get more money, then I leave and find a better team. Like, it just kind of works out for him both ways.
Where do you think he'll go?
I mean, I would pay an arm to have him at the Bears. It's probably not going to happen. But I don't know. It says the Browns are looking for a quarterback, and Arizona's.
That makes no sense to me, because Baker Mayfield has done what, his best year in the NFL this year.
Yeah, he got the Browns to the playoffs. First time in 18 years. I read somewhere that they're looking for a quarterback. I didn't just make that up. People are going to say I made it up. I didn't. I swear.
But I can't see Kevin Stefanski doing that. Getting a quarterback with that as well, which is just mind-boggling if he does. There was talk a few years ago that he was very interested in going to Miami. Russell Wilson
was there because
I wouldn't.
Building the team around too.
It seems to be that Miami, especially with Flores, is bringing in So he's the first coach now in the NFL, Brian Flores, to bring in 2 offensive coordinators. So it's a joint offensive coordinator. So I think one of them is concentrating on Tua, and the other one is concentrating on the O-line to try and get them in sync. I think that's what he did in New England. There was 2 of them doing him and someone else did the defensive coordinators in New England, and I think he liked that aspect of doing it. He's also brought in a quarterback coach, which is one that was with Tua at Alabama. So it's yeah, and apparently him and Tua have a very, very good relationship. So
national championship would say so. I would hope.
Yeah, and also, have you seen Tua's face? That is a good-looking man. Talking of Miami, I'm going to go on a bit of a love fest here. Jason Saunders has just signed a new 5-year, $22 million contract in the NFL. The question I had was, is he the best kicker in the NFL? And yes, he fucking is.
Yeah, I think he's up there for sure.
No, he's not top. He is the best. No one is better than him. No one.
Okay, he's top.
Thank you.
No, I would say give that kid. Who's the kid who came out of Georgia? He wears those goggles. I say give him 2 years.
Oh, the one with the glasses. Is he the one at the Bills?
I think so. He was the best kicker in college football. He didn't miss a field goal or something like that. Some crazy stat.
I think Jason Saunders has a record. Has no one. He's got a 90.5 rating as a kicker. No one in the NFL has over 84 apart from him, which just goes to show that he's now getting the contract he deserves for being a kicker.
That's
Miami
for a kicker.
Yeah, it's a big contract. But I'm going to go on a mini little Miami love fest. Mini little.
Always. I wouldn't expect anything less.
Exactly. The draft is coming up. There's a lot of talk of either it's going to be a tight end or wide receiver that we take at number 3. I don't care. I trust Flores. At the moment, he's taken a team that's been a laughing stock of the NFL for years and made them playoff contenders. And he's made them to a point where Bill Belichick is crying because he just can't get anything right at the moment. So Miami, the free agency is going to be fun because it's becoming more of a prospect for people to come now, especially with Flores as head coach. More people are talking of how good he is. Tua, there is a quarterback there that everyone knows is going to be the main quarterback. We need a backup or someone just in case Tua gets injured. So if Russell Wilson wants to be a backup to Tua, then he can come if he wants. He can get all the money if he wants, but no one's better than Tua. Tom Brady wouldn't even get in this Miami team because of Tua, how good Tua is.
Okay. Let's calm down.
He's the best quarterback in the AFC. Yes, Mahomes.
Sure. Nod my head.
Right, so this is not a question on my thing, but because I did a bit of Miami love, I'm going to let you do a little bit of a Chicago Bears love.
There's no love. We're still mad. I like Khalil Mack and then who's I'm totally spacing on our running back. He's like the only one we had because I can't think of his name. But no, Khalil Mack and Mitch Trubisky, a man who hasn't even gone through puberty, who thinks they can throw a football. He can't throw a football. He can't throw the ball 10 yards. He can't throw under pressure. As soon as someone does a blitz on him, he's like, whatever. And we need. I'm so happy they got a new defensive coordinator because holy fuck, it's so bad. It's so bad, but it's okay. It's gonna be great this year. We still made it to the playoffs over the.
Okay, so
if you throw that out there.
If you had to pick 2 positions that you really need to improve on, what would you pick? I gathered one of them already.
Oh, I think we need another defensive end, and then probably a wide receiver, quarterback.
There you go. I was waiting for you to say that. What are you going? You've just literally told everyone that Mitch Trubisky hasn't even gone through puberty yet, and then you've gone, we need a wide receiver. Hold on.
Okay, I was not thinking. I couldn't think of the position. To
be fair, what is the time for you? It's 5:30 in the morning for you when we're recording this. As you can see outside, it's still dark.
It's also covered in snow.
And it's covered in snow. And she's experiencing our lockdown that we've had for nearly a year I think it's nearly.
You're not at home. You're at home. I'm at a friend's house. I've been stuck here for 2 days.
I feel sorry for the friend's family to put up with you. But yeah, so I think we're both excited to see if Chicago can. I'm excited to see if Chicago can do something because I want them to be. Because I don't want you to come on being upset all the time. I want to see happy you, not sad you, happy you.
I just want to beat the Packers one time this year. The Packers and the Lions, and that'll be great.
You won't beat the Lions. You won't because of Mr. Motor City Dan Campbell, who is going to bite your fucking kneecaps and rip your Achilles and eat them for fucking breakfast. I'm sorry, I might buy a Lions top this year because of Dan Campbell. My love for the Lion. I'm not going to lie, I have beginning to fall in love with the Lion just because of Dan Campbell. That is it.
Oh my God. But no, that's all I'm looking for this year. Also, I'm excited about our new defensive coordinator.
You imagine if he wins the Super Bowl. I'm sorry, I know this is never going to happen. If Dan Campbell wins the Super Bowl, you imagine the speech he will have. Oh, you imagine the drinks that will go flying. Oh, it'll be like an old Western film. He'll just walk into a bar, someone says something, he just gets a chair and fucking hits them with it. And that's what, I'm in love with Dan Campbell. I'm actually tempted to buy a Lions top with Motor City Dan Campbell on the back. I'm tempted.
Do it. There's not much else to do right now except.
There's not. I think we might get a Lions person on, just so we can have a bromance about Dan Campble. If anyone is a Dan Campbell fan and can actually inform me why he is the best, then please tweet us like anything. Just let us know. Put in the comments down below as well. Right, Taylor Heineken. I'm calling him Mr. Heineken has just signed a new 2-year deal. Signing bonus. He's just got a signing bonus of $1 million, and the total wage with incentives will go to $4 million. With all of that, he had one very, very good game against Tampa Bay, which unfortunately they lost. Do you think he deserves to be there? Is he someone that deserves to be at Washington?
I mean, if they do something kind of like Miami are, because they're just like average, and I don't want to say they want to do a total rebuild, but if they like build the team around him, if they want him to stay, like they add it on to his contract, so obviously they see something in him, and I would say stay. But otherwise, because aren't they looking for a quarterback?
Yeah.
Because that's just, why would you spend more money on him?
Does that mean that Alex Smith's is going to get cut?
No. Maybe? I don't know.
If he does, Miami. Go to Miami. Go to Miami.
I mean, maybe they're bringing in another quarterback for like competition because maybe he's getting too comfortable. Yeah,
but you don't want 3 first choice name quarterbacks, do you? Because I think the saying goes, if you have 2, then you don't have 1. I think that's.
And they probably are planning on cutting what's his face because maybe he's not. I don't know.
But it's like a feel-good story. You just want him to just go to Miami, just get a big payload, go to Miami, and sit there and help Tua, and then come in every so often like Patrick Fitzmagic did, and come and do that. So yeah, but just yeah. All right, a quick question. Washington, they seem to be a team that's slowly rebuilding and going up. They at the moment have had to change their name. They've gone for a full company rebuild.
It has a horrible temporary name. Washington Football Team. Yay.
Yeah. I think aren't they trying to get a name for them during this off season? I think.
Yeah.
If you could pick a name for them, what would you pick? I'm
the worst with names. I thought Redskins sounded really good, but I obviously know there's horrible like backstory to it. But I don't know. I don't know. I'm horrible with names. You go.
Washington. It seems to be like there's an animal theme going on in the NFL. So Washington Sharks.
Okay, are you allowed to like copy like hockey and football? Because there's a hockey team called the Sharks.
I ain't got a clue about hockey. Hockey confuses me. Hockey really does confuse me. It makes no sense.
How? It's literally just like a five-a-side game with a stick and a puck.
Yeah, but then there's fighting involved and you don't get sent off. And in football, if you slap someone in the face and fall down for about 20 minutes, the other person gets sent off. It makes no sense. Hockey, like you've got to shoot, but there's a goalkeeper that can't come out the circle, or there's a big fuck-off goalkeeper that's the size of Andre the Giant in a small little tinsy-wincy goal. And it's like, what? And you can run around the goal and do spins and shit. And right, I know there's a few people that I like hockey. I just don't understand it.
That's fair.
I respect hockey.
Fair.
I think it's a Canadian sport. It's a Canadian sport.
Well, I know, but like, I played it for 1 year, and I've never wanted to quit a sport faster in my whole life. It was so horrible.
It looks more painful than it does anything else.
It's like constant conditioning.
Mm.
Like, imagine doing like suicides, but like on the ice, in ice skates.
Oh no, I can't do suicides on the normal floor. On normal floor. So put ice skates on me is just the worst thing ever. Just not going to happen. Very bad idea. Very bad. And just before we go on.
Sorry, I'm totally
you go.
I'm like trying to think, but there's nothing because like Washington's in the middle of nowhere. Nobody comes to Washington.
There's nothing. You can't call it Washington Parliament Football Team or Washington White House. Can't have White House.
No, but it's just like, I mean, the only people who live there are like hippies, and then the people who go to Seattle for work. Because there's nothing else there. Go to Seattle like once a year.
It has to do something with Parliament, doesn't it? It has to do something with your government, because that's where
my government isn't in Washington.
Well, isn't it famous
for DC?
That's Washington DC. Washington, the same fucking thing.
They're on opposite sides of the country.
Hold on, no, it's all right. Your country confuses me.
Washington is in the top left corner of in the top left. It's above Oregon and California. Washington D.C. is by like New England. Washington D.C. is in Maryland. Washington D.C. is by Baltimore.
Why is it called Washington then? If it's two different parts.
Oh no.
It's like having a Newcastle up where Newcastle is and having Newcastle in London. Like, oh look, 2 bits of Newcastle. No. Call it something. See, this is why your country's backwards. This is why your country confuses me. Why?
Yeah, so it's like there's nothing there. So you can't like do something like
just move it from Washington to Canada, and then you can have then you can have something Canadian. Like the Mounties. How stereotypical. The first thing I go for is the Mounties.
I think we should
get the Mooses.
Isn't it Meese? I swear to God, it's Meese.
It's moose. It's a fucking moose. What's a meese? The fuck is a meese?
Isn't it multiple mooses? It's Meese.
Right. Hey Google. What is multiple mooses called? It's called a herd. It's called a herd. My Google just told me it's called a herd. Thank you, Google. Not a meat.
No, so the plural of moose is moose.
Yes. So
no,
moose is a moose.
No, it's just moose and moose. It's not mooses. It's moose and moose.
Are we really having a discussion on an NFL podcast about a moose? You can see that there's nothing to talk about when we're going about a fucking moose.
I mean, we're trying to name the Washington football team. They could do like Marshall. That's a college team in West Virginia. They're called the Herd because they're things like a buffalo. They could do like the moose and be called the Herd.
Jesus Christ. We've just gone on for about 5 minutes while I work out what a more than one moose is fucking called, and we worked out it's called a herd.
You
Anyway,
figured it out.
yeah, you learn something new every day.
Yes.
And we just learned that anyway.
I feel dumb, but whatever.
I blame you. This podcast is going downhill because of you. Just saying.
You're the one who brought an American on. I thought that was implied.
That's very true. That is very true. Right, we're ending. I've had enough now. Right, thank you guys ever so much for joining. If you want any more moose content, oh, Jesus fucking Christ. Moose. Anyway, all right, I'm ending. With all love and care, we will see you guys next week. Fucking moose.